So does Dune fail or succeed in living up to its hype? Let's discuss all of that and more right now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Dune, which is a science fiction action drama movie, and this is the first part of a two-part adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel of the same name, which is just incredibly popular, and there are just so many fans of this novel, and this novel also led to a lot of movies being inspired by this source material. Now, this movie has an incredibly amazing cast and some truly awe-inspiring visuals in there as well. However, it does feel pretty slow and at points really confusing, and also at other points pretty boring as well. I mean, it's incredibly ambitious with what it's trying to achieve, and it does do a relatively decent job in terms of doing a lot of world building in the first part of this movie. However, I do feel like they could have pushed it a little bit more and done a lot more with the substance and material that they had, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So whilst there are some clear differences between Dune and Star Wars, from a storyline point of view, there are actually a few similarities between the two franchises. So as far as Dune is concerned, it's set in a dystopian future where resources are running really low, and some planets and empires want to live in true peace, whereas there are some other planets and empires that want to rule the entire galaxy and will destroy and kill anyone that gets in their way. The Atreides family are one of the examples of the former, that want to live in true peace, and the film then explores this family's journey in trying to achieve this and all of the conflict that comes their way, along with a lot of betrayal, bloodshed, and a lot of different characters having their own agendas taking place at the same time. Now, from a positive point of view, like I said, the visuals in this movie are just absolutely magnificent. It is a true visual masterpiece, and it's really amazing to see all of that come to life in this movie. There are also some truly shocking moments that take place in this movie as well. You really don't expect some of them to take place, and they are absolutely awesome when they happen. Speaking of awesome sequences, there are a lot of fight sequences, especially some sword fighting sequences. Not quite like lightsabers, but they are really cool in their own special way as well. And like I said before as well, this movie does do a really good job in terms of introducing the audience into this brand new world. However, from a negatives point of view, whilst it does do that, it is really slow, and certain moments are actually pretty confusing as well, and also certain other moments just feel really empty. I mean, it's trying to take itself very seriously and do this very epic, amazing, magnificent movie, but I feel like it's hard to connect sometimes with some of the characters, and you can just tell that they're just building everything up to an amazing, outstanding second movie, which I'm sure will be able to benefit from all of the build-up that they do in the first movie. But as far as the first movie is concerned, I just wanted a little bit more from it from a storyline point of view. So one of the main things that makes Dune absolutely awesome is its absolutely unbelievable cast, and for good reasons as well, as they are all so brilliant in this movie. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, of course, we have Timothee Chalamet, who just does such a good job leading this movie. Such a brilliant superstar, playing the Paul Atreides character, and he just does it really, really well, effortlessly well, I would say, as he just plays the prince character that definitely has got regal and majestic aspects to him, of course in a bit of a Dune world way, but at the same time he's really approachable and really endearing as well. And you can see, even though there are characters that aren't in the royal family that interact with this character really, really well, which is really, really cool. And you can also connect with this character on a bit of an emotional level. And he does go through quite a lot of things in this movie, and I just feel like Timothee Chalamet definitely owns all of the sequences that he is in. Next up, we have Rebecca Ferguson, who is playing his mother, the Lady Jessica character, and these two characters share a bit of a superpower known as the voice, and they are able to use this in really, really cool ways in this movie. And actually, the Lady Jessica character, surprisingly, I didn't think that she would be, but actually she is in quite a lot of number of scenes in this movie, and Rebecca Ferguson finally has a really great movie that is able to catapult her to the level where she deserves to be at, and she does a really, really good job in this movie. Next up, we have Oscar Isaac, who is playing Paul's father, the Leto Atreides character, and he is a really great ruler, king, and duke of this particular area, and he does a really good job playing the king of this particular area, and you can really feel the pressure on this character and trying to be the ruler of this place, trying to keep all of his people and his family safe, and you can just see all of the conflict that this character has to run into due to his position. Next up we have Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin, who are the protectors of the House of Atreides and are also mentors to the Paul character. And all of their sequences are actually really, really good. They fit into this movie and into this world really, really well, and all of their combat sequences are absolutely awesome. Jason Momoa in particular, the one in the final act of this movie, is really, really great. And Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa actually have some really cool storyline sequences as well, which is really, really great. Next up we have Zendaya, who is playing the Shani character. She is in a lot of visions of the Paul Atreides character across this movie. She's not in it that much, but the scenes that she is in, she definitely makes a massive impact, and she is part of the Freeman clan and tribe. And these characters are considered savages by people across the universe, but they actually hold a very highly sought after spice which allows people to continue living on their planet of Arrakis, which a lot of other characters are after. And then finally we have Dave Bautista and Stellan Skarsgard, who are the main villains in this movie as part of the House of Harkonnen, and they do some crazy things in this movie and definitely are very formidable against every other character pretty much in this movie. And so from a cast and characters point of view overall, whilst there are storyline aspects that could have been improved, the cast on the other hand are absolutely brilliant in this movie. So like I said earlier, the visuals in Dune are absolutely unbelievable, truly magnificent, very, very awe-inspiring, and definitely one of the main appeals of this movie. You can totally feel like you're escaping into this futuristic dystopian world, and they just communicate all of that so brilliantly through all of the visuals. There's a lot of war sequences, and all of those are very, very powerful, very, very awe-inspiring, and you really do feel like you're part of it because it's so immersive. From a visuals point of view, there are some really cool abilities that the different characters possess. For example, being able to use a shield, being able to use your voice, and some really cool sword fighting sequences that take place as well. There are a lot of sequences that take place in the desert, and whilst they are pretty empty and definitely not something that Anakin Skywalker would like, they do actually look really, really cool. So from a visuals point of view, I have to say Dune is absolutely awesome. So from a comparisons point of view, it is really, really interesting, as they have said that the novel of Dune has inspired so many science fiction TV shows and movies that have come out after its release. So let's look at a few of them. So I definitely feel there are so many comparisons that you can make with Star Wars, especially in terms of empires and planets fighting one another, a bit of an evil group of characters that want to take over the entire galaxy, and a group of rogue warriors that are trying to save the day. So I feel like there are so many similarities that you can definitely make with Star Wars. I feel like the recently released Chaos Walking, you can also compare some aspects as well. For example, always being on the run, not knowing who you can trust and who you can't trust. You can also compare it to Game of Thrones in terms of there being different groups and different families. There always being a bit of a power struggle along this as well. Recently released Blade Runner is actually directed by the same person that directed this movie, and there are a lot of similarities with that as well. And also the most recently released Raised by Wolves TV series, which definitely has a bit of a dystopian future in there as well. And so from a comparisons point of view, I definitely feel there are a lot of things that you can compare Dune to. So overall, I would definitely say Dune is worth watching. I personally was expecting a little bit more from it, especially given how hyped this movie was ahead of its release. But that being said, it is really, really cool. It's got an incredible cast, amazing visuals, and it definitely set everything up for an incredible sequel, which I'm sure will just be outstanding when it eventually gets made. But as far as the first Dune is concerned, I have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.